Hello, hello, hello. Good morning and welcome to Argentine Asado. Today we are going to do a flank steak in milk. You're going to say that sounds crazy. It does. Believe me, Argentine culture, flank steak in milk is a big thing. This is one of the most oldest recipes I could find online that, you know, like your granny did or your grandpa did on Sunday afternoons. This is the recipe. We are going to be doing a matambre a la leche, which means flank in milk. And the benefit of this is you can take it from the oven once we've done it in milk and you can actually put it on the grill and finish it. But because today the weather isn't too great, it's windy, it's wet, it's cold, we're going to be staying in the kitchen and doing an Argentine delicious recipe that is super simple. And if you're a bit patient and you find some good matambre and you have some milk, you can make an amazing matambre a la leche. So stay with me and I'm going to show you. Okay, so here's our matambre. And as you can see, it's got a thin membrane on the outside and it's got a bit of fat on the other. I've trimmed it a little bit, but not too much because I really want that fat to help get the taste and the juices flying through the matambre, through the flank. So I've got my milk here. I've just got some regular milk. And we are going to put on salt, pepper, and coriander. And then we are going to put it in the oven in a container filled with milk and aluminium foil on top. We're going to come back 2 hours later and it is going to be so tender that you can just pull it apart with spoons. You're going to say, honestly, pull it apart with 2 spoons? Well, stay with me and I'm going to show you. If we put this in the oven for 2 hours and we follow the step-by-step process, it will be so tender that I can pull it apart with spoons. Spices for the matambre, keep it simple. And this is what I'm going to use. Sweet chili. Coarse marine salt, coriander, some peppercorns, and I've got some black ground pepper here. So the trick here is to make sure that the matambre is fully covered with milk. So we are going to put all of our spices on both sides, on the membrane fatty side and on the meat side, and then we're going to cover it in milk. But we always massage our meat with a bit of olive oil before, and we make sure that it is at room temperature before it goes in the oven. Now, you're probably saying, how do I tenderize this meat with milk? Well, milk has a specific protein structure called casein, and this protein structure, when it comes in contact with the meat and plus a little bit of heat, is going to help denaturalize and accelerate the denaturalization of the proteins in the meat, making it incredibly tender and super tasty. For a lovely cold winter day like today, this is going to be the perfect recipe and we're going to enjoy it. And most importantly, I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like when it comes out the oven so you can make this at home. What I'm doing is really massaging in a bit of olive oil. I've let the matambre sit at room temperature so it is not too cold. And then I'm massaging in this olive oil, which is then going to help for the salt and pepper and coriander to adhere to the membrane and the meat. The matambre is now in the oven container. Before putting it in the oven, I'm now going to coat it in milk, and you want milk to be in permanent contact with all of the meat. So I've got 2 liters of milk. You're probably going to need at least 2 liters. And this container is actually a little bit small, so I had to wrap up the edges a little bit because if not, it didn't fit. So here goes. So now we're ready to go in the oven. I'm going to cover this and I'm going to put it in the oven for 2 hours, at least 2 hours, and maybe even 2 hours and 15 minutes. Then we're going to take it out and I'm going to slice it up and show you how tender the matambre a la leche is. Okay, so let's come back in 2 hours and see how tender it is and enjoy it for a lovely winter lunch. And as always, we have our inspector, and the inspector is inspecting whether or not the meat is going to be tender. ¿Qué pasa, Chichi? Been 2 hours and 25 minutes, so nearly 2 hours and a half. I got a little bit delayed. And whoa, that smells good. Let's go. So the matambre is out of the oven, and as you can see, it is golden on the outside, and this is because of the proteins in the milk and the fat and the sweet chili that I put in, and obviously the coriander and salt and pepper. And it is just looking absolutely fabulous. So let's slice it up and let's see how tender it is. Don't forget to let your meat rest before you slice it up, because you don't want all the juices going everywhere, and you can really benefit both the taste and the tenderness of the meat if you let it rest for at least 10 minutes after bringing it out of the oven or taking it off the grill. I have, as you guys know, an inspector called Chisito. ¿Qué pasa, Chichi? ¿Vos qué querés? So there's someone here who I think wants some matambre that has been soaking and slow cooking in milk. What is so interesting about the matambre a la leche, which means matambre or flank in milk, is that it shrinks a lot. So it's been in the oven for 2 hours and 25 minutes, nearly 2 hours and a half, and it has shrunk probably by 40% of its full surface has just... So that's why it's so important that you do it slowly to make sure it's tender and tasty. So I'm barely even applying pressure to the knife. And look at this. Okay. Butter. So good. So tender. So tasty. So moist. Is it good?
Una manteca.
She said it's like butter.
Muy tierno.
So the moment of truth, I am going to use 2 spoons to pull apart the matambre. Okay, there you go.